All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Kingdom. All right. Of The Kingdom. Hello. I totally forgot to mute the stream.
Again?
I am, it's just one of those days. Anyway, guys.
We forgive you.
Now that that's over, yes, this is my custom D&D campaign, and you can see the people below me all have these wonderful characters that they were stupid enough to allow me to control whether they live or die. So, that's always fun. Tonight, we will be unfortunately missing our rogue dragon knight.
Slash lich.
Slash vampire lich slash a little bit of everything. Like this, Elaine is already playing a custom class. And now I'm just adding modifications in there just to see how creative we can get with this character. So by the end of this campaign, I don't know. Maybe Elaine will be a demigod or a demon or something. I don't know. Anyway, to kind of bring people up to speed from last game, these guys are heading off because in order to get the serrated death, in order to get him kind of on their side and recruiting for them, they need to give him some sort of proof that they actually can escape this underground gladiator city. Because apparently common knowledge is no one has ever done that. When you get sent here, you die here. That's how it works. And so they went off to kind of follow the path that Fade was able to gather when he kind of read the mind of the only person that's ever actually escaped from there. And along the way, they started realizing they were being tracked. Avok was the first person to really realize it, and the party decided that instead of trying to hide or something like that, they would set up an ambush. And they found out the person that was tracking them was their good friend Scar, who also happened to have Avok's axe. After an actually really interesting fight, like as much as, it was just combat and everything, you guys were very creative in your combat choices.
Yeah, and after almost 170 damage done to me.
Yeah, you had to burn through both your transformations, which is impressive. Not only were you guys able to take out most of that party, I think one guy got away.
Yeah, one did.
Avok regained his great axe of wounding that he lost when he first got thrown into the gladiator arena. Which Fade had this strange compulsion to touch, and when he did, it transformed a little bit and got a little bit of a blessing of the Dark Lady. And now, to be 100% honest, now it looks really badass. Like before, it just looked broken, and now it looks super sweet. And Fade got a new friend in the form of a white that now obeys his commands. And we'll see how long that lasts before the Dungeon Master realizes what a bad idea it was to give the players a white to control. So,
this is going to get interesting.
That's kind of where we're all at. Shortly after raising the white, that's where we're going to join you guys again. None of you guys are feeling remarkably good about yourselves right now. Like you're hurt. I think everybody got at least a little bit damaged. More than most.
Didn't we take a long rest?
I believe we did.
That was going to be my question, is because I was going to retroactively kind of cancel the long rest and go, was there any sort of preparation or anything you wanted to do before taking a short or a long rest?
No.
Right. Again, the part of the city that you guys are in right now is basically abandoned. Nobody really lives in this part of the city. And since there are fresh dead things around, it's generally a
There
pretty
are,
good.
aren't there?
What?
There are, aren't there?
Yeah. That's generally a good reason to not pick on the guys that just did all the killing. So your rest is uninterrupted. You guys get the effects of a long rest. And Fade, you know that you are, like I said, roughly maybe an hour-ish away from this pool that, if these memories that you're kind of sifting through are right, leads to the outside of the city itself.
Yeah, I think as we're getting ready to go. I mean, we kind of camped out in the same spot we killed everybody, right? More or less.
Unless you want to camp somewhere else.
No, I definitely have my bearings where we are, even after taking that detour to find this place to fight. I'm gonna burn a level 4 spell to reassert control over my boy, and pick up his two friends that are dead around us. So they're gonna come with us as well.
Oh, so you can now. Oh, okay.
Oh god.
I'm gonna have you roll just a basic spell attack roll.
Sure. Unnatural 20?
Okay. Um, as you wake up and you look at the two bodies, the one that you what was it, harm touch that you used on him?
It would have been inflict wounds.
Inflict wounds, yeah, that's what they call it in 5th edition. They don't have a harm touch.
Yeah, Harmon's like a way higher level.
You do realize the one that you used inflict wounds on, because of how powerful the spell was and just the shape the body was in, it's really not reanimatable. Like, there's just not enough connective tissue and stuff like that, because you dustified most of it. So if that changes, you would have figured that out before you cast the spell. So if that changes the spell slot,
Yeah, we'll just do the normal one. I won't take the extra guys then.
okay. The other guy was still in enough. There was still enough of him there that you could have. But
if we're not going to get 3, it's not worth it.
okay, sorry. You
Oh, it's okay.
You came over, touched the dude, and ripped out 90%, like 95% of his life in a single touch.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So you guys have gotten your long rest. Is there, Avok, you're now attuned to your axe again?
Yeah, I spent my long rest just spooning my axe.
Just like, oh, it's so nice. I missed you.
Yep.
So, is there anything you guys want to do before you break camp? Would you like some alone time with your axe?
I knew I was going to regret that one.
I'm going to ritual water breathing.
Okay.
Because we're going underwater soon.
And that lasts for a long time, right?
Yeah, 24 hours.
Okay. Makes sense. Cool. So you guys see Kata perform a ritual. You saw her perform when you were in the dwarven ruined city. And you suddenly feel that water does not present the dangers that it normally would.
Still feels weird every time.
Any other prep work you guys want to do?
Let's do we just get the show on the road. Let's do what we came here to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Fade from the long rest and everything. Your kind of map in your mind has started to fade a little bit, so I will need another. I think it was wisdom checks. Was I having you? Is that what I was having you make?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So another wisdom check to see if you can pick up the trail again.
Certainly. 23 to pick up the trail.
You're fine. You guys are able to get there within, like I said, about an hour, without wasting too much time. As you get closer, Kata, you're the first person to notice it, but everyone eventually does. The air starts to get heavier, and you start smelling this just really awful smell, like decaying vegetation and, rotting meat, just this really, really disgusting smell. And when you guys finally make it to the water, you start to understand that the smell is coming from this pool. Again, the pool itself is relatively large, and it's not like a well or anything. It's a crack in the ground that filled with water somehow. You're not really sure where the water is coming from. Like, you don't see any like waterfalls or runoff or anything that's going into it, but it's a relatively large pool that is murky enough that you can't actually see the bottom of it. But you get the idea that bare minimum, it has to be at least 10 to 15 feet deep. It's possible it might be even deeper. You'd have to actually go in. And you can see in the pool itself, there are dead animals floating in it, like, rats and rodents and things like that. There is this sickly, like, greenish pink algae and vegetation that kind of floats on top. And as you guys get close, either that vegetation is rotting or it's like no vegetation you've ever seen before, because it smells absolutely horrid and does not look right at all. The pool itself, the water has this like really sickly greenish brown tint to it. There are little kind of puddles like oil sitting on top of the water that kind of glow and luminesce in the low light of the area. So what would you guys like to do?
I see how dark it is, and knowing that humans can't really see worth crap in the dark, I'm going to turn to Avok and say, I'm going to cast something that will help you keep up with us, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Now, the kind of sludge on top of the water is letting off enough that it's kind of dim light around you. It's not completely darkness, but it's difficult to see without dark vision.
So I am going to cast dark vision on him.
Oh, cool. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're human too, aren't you, Kata?
I won't need it.
Oh, okay.
Trust me.
Yeah, crazy druid stuff. Gotcha. Cool. So Avok, she comes over and places her hand on your shoulder, and the world brightens significantly.
Whoa. Okay. Oh, whoa. Okay. Need to adjust. Whoa.
And yeah, you now have no difficulty seeing anything. But once you get probably about 20, 30 feet away from the pool itself, everything is in black and white. And you can only see for a maximum of, I believe it's 60 feet with dark vision.
Yes.
Yeah. So, without a source of light, anything beyond 60 feet is darkness to you.
Okay, I don't know how I feel about this.
It lasts for 8 hours and is not concentration.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a running start, and as I dive in, I'm going to transform into a hunter shark, which has blind sight.
Very cool. Awesome. So as you guys are kind of standing there and figuring out what to do, Kata just starts running towards the pool, jumps into the air, and as she jumps, she starts growing fairly significantly, because I believe hunter sharks are large, right?
Oops, I forgot the white was in the pool. Yeah, they're large creatures.
Okay, cool. So, you see her start growing, and as she plunges into the pool itself, she doesn't make anywhere near as large a splash as you thought she would. Kata, as soon as you get into the pool, your gills start burning. Your eyes themselves, as you open them around and try looking underwater, feels like you've just opened your eye into a bottle of battery acid, so you immediately close them again and use your blind sight as much as you can. But I do need you to make me a Constitution saving throw using the shark's statistics.
Okay. Oh god, that's 7.
You now have the poisoned condition.
Oh god.
And for every basically round, so every 6 seconds you're under there, you think you think it's actually going to be doing damage to you. It hasn't done anything yet because you're just getting over the shock of it, but you think if you stay down there basically breathing this water through your gills, it's going to cause you some damage.
Uh-oh.
So this has happened just immediately as soon as you landed in the pool. How far is your blind sight?
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay, so as soon as you get into the pool, you travel down a good 20 feet just from momentum and transforming, and you can see that the bottom of this part of this pool is a total of about 40 feet below the surface. So it's a fairly deep thing, and your blind sight very quickly can tell that there is kind of a tunnel crack type thing going off from it into another chamber, but it's far enough away that you can't really tell where it goes. You just know it goes away from where you are. And you start kind of coughing, and your gills are on fire. What do you want to do?
Oh god. I'm actually going to light surface.
Okay.
And try and motions. Actually, I'm going to untransform.
Okay. So you guys watch as this shark comes to the surface, kind of thrashing around, and you see it slowly transform into Kata, who comes up sputtering and coughing and gagging, about 10 feet away from the edge of the pool.
Hey, you okay over there?
Hard to breathe in there, even even with gills.
You do notice now that you're not technically breathing the water. You still have the poison condition, but it doesn't feel like it's doing more damage to you right now. So you get the idea that the actual like breathing of the water was what was hurting you.
Oh, okay. Come on in, guys. Yeah.
Before I jump in there, I look at her. We're not trying to escape right now. We're just doing reconnaissance.
Oh,
We're here for recruiting purposes. We're not going to
yeah.
leave.
Oh,
So then I
Well-
have the white jump in and go search around and do a complete feel every wall and every crack. And he's going
Whites
to
don't
hang
need
up.
to breathe, do they?
And
Undead.
is immune to poison.
clever.
See, I am already starting to regret giving you this white. Very good. Take inspiration for that. I like that.
Thank you.
You're going to need to explain to me. You can't see through the white's eyes like a familiar, right?
No, the way I get to control him is if he's within 60 feet, he obeys my mental commands.
Okay.
If he's outside of that, he will pretty much do whatever, but is still under my control. I just can't recommand him.
Okay.
So I will, as he's hopping in, I'm just gonna be like, I want you to be able to draw me a map when you get out of that place.
So he kind of goes, yes, master.
And don't worry, I'll let you kill something soon.
And you see him kind of wade in. And you notice that he gets to the edge of the pool, and as soon as he steps into it, he drops to his waist in the water. And the very next step he takes, he's gone underneath the waves. Or not waves, it's actually very still, but underneath the water. And about 5 minutes pass. He's still within 60 feet. You get that feeling that he's still within 60 feet. 10 minutes.
Don't go too
pass.
far.
You're starting to feel a strain on your ability to communicate with him after about 10 minutes. 15 minutes passed, you can't detect him anymore.
Oh dear.
Oh, well, bye, Scar.
An additional 15 minutes passed, so 30 minutes since he went under. And you still haven't felt him at all. Go ahead and make me just a straight up wisdom check.
As this is all 13.
Okay. You try and reach out, and nothing's really happening. You're not really getting anything.
That's fine.
Do you guys want to wait longer? Do you want to do something? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna ask Kata if she can still control water like we did in the Dwarven City.
Forgot to prepare.
It's fine. We're not leaving now, but we can do that when we leave. For now, whatever. But yeah, that could be helpful when we want to get out of here in a hurry.
Okay.
Maybe both of us weaving together will be able to make us a path through this. We'll see. But for now, we need to... I am just going to wait here. I need to know the way out.
Are you guys doing anything else? You just kind of chilling, waiting for Fade?
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Well, there's no reason you can't go just recruit people. Like, we're here for trainers, but there's no reason we can't bring other slaves and gladiators with us. Like, we could theoretically convince everyone down here, since Scar was in charge, and now he's either gone or we control him. We can theoretically get everyone to come with us.
Well, and you do know that Scar was in charge of the gang that ran this section of the city you guys were in. You know there's two other gangs that
Well, there you go.
control
Yeah.
different areas of the city. As he's talking about this, another like roughly 15 minutes pass, and you kind of feel a little ping in the back of your mind fade. And you get the feeling that your undead servant is now close enough again that you could issue it a command if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll just tell him to come back. I'm
Okay.
bored. I want to know what he knows.
So another 5 minutes, you see this creature kind of come up. You see the clothing he has is wilted a little bit, and he smells worse than he did before. Like, he didn't smell great before, and now he just looks awful. You also notice that a lot of the skin, which was already this kind of white, chalky color before, now has like pock marks and things like it, like it's been eaten away a little bit.
Scar, you look terrible.
Sorry.
So I just have him get out and stand next to us, and I'll let him dry off. But I turn to Avok. Do we want to have this clown hiding, or do we want to bring him and show the other groups how powerful we are? Because obviously, if he was in charge, or one of the three major powers down here, he either had enemies and or friends. So if we want to convince more people, I mean, we could roll up in there like, no big deal, what's up? We took out the last gang, you're next. Or we could go in a little bit more kata style, kind of sneak in there, play it cool, be smart. I know you want to hit stuff. I know. We'll get to that. Trust me, buddy.
As you're doing this, you've noticed that your white friend has been rummaging through your pack fade.
What the shit? All right.
And has found a something that will work as a piece of paper and something he can use to write with.
I tell him to wipe his hands off first. This is ridiculous.
So he wipes his hands off on your pack. And then you see him start drawing something that you can't identify, to be 100% honest.
Okay, that's fine.
But,
thank you for that, buddy. That's really helpful. Thank
you.
you.
The longer he does it, the more you start getting an idea that his fine motor control is not really as great as it was before, and you're thinking he probably wasn't an artist in his last life. But you do get a basic enough idea of what you're looking at from this drawing. Basically, it looks like the pool on this side goes down again, kind of like Kata found, goes down about 40 feet, gets a little bit wider, and then is cut off by the wall of the city. But there's this very large crack, large enough easily for a medium-sized humanoid to get through with no problems. However, the crack itself is relatively long. It goes about... the wall itself is about 30 feet away from the edge of the pool. And then the crack itself goes for another 50 feet before it opens up into another kind of pool-ish area that is much smaller. And above it there is kind of like it's in a cavern, and that was all that he was able to map before he came back.
Noted. I share what I think he found with these other two.
Hey, does it
Compared
look
to the maps that Elaine's
good?
been making, this is a step below what you guys are used to.
Yeah.
But does it look enough to what I what I saw, and for
Yeah,
it to work its through.
the brief time that you were down there, it kind of fits with what you saw, but you were down there for less than 6 seconds.
True.
Like as soon as you started feeling this fetid water affect you, you're like, no, peace out. Before it had time to do any real significant damage.
Yeah, true.
Sorry.
Kata, over the past 45 minutes, and the rest of you kind of notice this as well, you are really not feeling well. Your skin's a little bit pale. It's a little bit clammy. Yeah, the being out of the water has not made you feel any better other than the fact that you're not taking active damage.
Do I kind of feel like I need to throw up or something?
You're feeling a little weak and lightheaded. You do feel a little bit nauseated, but not to the point that you think you're going to, throw up or anything. But you feel that overall malaise, and you're having a little bit of a hard time concentrating right now. Like everything just feels bad. And the rest of you guys do notice that her skin's a little bit pale. Her skin looks a little bit clammy. Nothing
You need
that
some help there, kid?
would, make you think that she's in grave danger or anything, but it's obvious she doesn't feel well.
You look like shit.
You all right there, kid? What's going on?
Something in the water, just bad.
Did you drink some?
Yeah, I did breathe some in.
Oh, well, that's not good. Come here. I raise my hands and cast a protection from poisoning spell at first level, which will cure her of this condition and give her resistance to poison damage and advantage on saves for a short time.
Yay.
Maybe.
What conditions does it fix?
You touch a creature. If it is poisoned, you neutralize the poison. If more than one affects the creature, you neutralize one poison and you know it is present, or you neutralize one at random. For the duration, has advantage on saving throws against and resistance to poison damage.
As you cast a spell on her, you get the idea that while this started as a type of poison, the water itself poisoned her. It has, over the last almost hour, basically accelerated itself into a disease instead of poison.
That's for you. Okay. I would like to try something else then, because spells. I changed my whole spell list and I gotta use stuff. Alright. All non-magical food and drink within 5-foot radius, sphere, centered on a point of your choice. So I'm going to go stand next to the water and cast Purify Food and Drink.
Ooh.
Which will render it free of poison and disease. I would like to try it. I will spend the spell slot irregardless of what time.
Irregardless isn't a word, first of all.
Thank you.
I'm trying to figure out how this will work. Make me a spell attack roll.
26.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this then. That was a 4. All right. As you sit there and you attempt to purify the water itself, you guys watch as Fade goes over and he places his hand in the water, and the kind of sickly green colored water starts to turn crystal clear right where he touched it, and it starts to spread out further and further. And how big is that sphere?
Well, it's all 5 foot radius.
Okay.
Not very far.
So you guys watch as about a 10-foot area of water becomes crystal clear and pure as Faye touches it and focuses And is there a duration on it or anything, or it's just an instantaneous spell?
It's an instant.
Instantaneous, cool. And as you finish casting the spell, you take your hand away and you see this really wonderful looking water, and then you watch it slowly start to change back, and you notice that it's not that the fetid water is mixing with the pure water, because theoretically you'd be able to dilute it over time doing that over and over and over again. The water itself is basically becoming fetid again. And when you cast it, you felt some sort of magical resistance when you cast it. It was very weak, and you overcame it with your own abilities, but
Oh, do we want to sit here and just keep throwing spells at this thing? Because I got more to try, but
Uh,
I don't want this whole episode to be this.
you do get the idea that there's more to this water being fetid and poisonous than just it being rancid.
Sure.
Something is purposefully making it deadly, as Kata has found out.
How about? Oh man! All right. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm going to cast Detect Magic and see if there is a source for the magic that's within 30 feet of me.
Okay. So you guys watched Fade activate his Detect Magic like he's done many, many times before. And as you look at the water, it has kind of a magical afterglow, like it's been affected by magic, but nothing within 30 feet of where you are is giving off a magical aura. It does last for 10 minutes, though.
Right, I'm deciding if I'm going in or not.
And you got that lovely water breathing spell, and breathing the water thus far has had nothing but good effects for your party, so...
I'm gonna put my hand in and see what happens in my hand.
It doesn't feel good. If you've ever like touched something that was like a weak acid or a weak base, where you kind of feel that itchiness. Like I don't know if you've ever had something like basic enough that it was actually caustic spilt on you, but like acid burns. The other end of the scale, it itches when you get it spilt on you. And so as you put your hand in the water, it itches a little bit.
Okay.
You get the idea that, again, the water is, you think, not the greatest thing to prolong your exposure to. The brief amount of exposure you had from putting your hand out there doesn't seem to have had any ill effects. But you get the idea that you spend too much time down there and it'll probably start causing damage.
All right.
And it's
So,
definitely not something you want to drink.
all right. I take all of this knowledge and I'm going to share my insight for what's happened so far. So, guys, this can be our escape route. There is a crack in the wall. Kata and my Scar identified which way it is. So we can get out of here when we need to. I'm saying this pretty quietly. I'm trying to be, I don't want anyone to overhear.
Yeah, all the people around you.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
No, that's
just
fine.
I'm confident we can get out this way. So we've done this part. I think we're done here for now. We need to decide whether or not we want to go get knife death and go, or do we want to try our luck and keep going? Because they're going to pull us up into the arena sooner or later.
This is actually, since you guys got here, this is the longest you've spent outside of the arena. And it's theoretically possible it's because they haven't come looking for you. Again, this is a relatively large city. There are plenty of combatants, and new ones get shoved in there every day. Or it could be that they have been looking for you and you're not where you're supposed to be. So, until you return to civilization, you won't know that.
Maybe we tell Serrated Death now and take maybe like a day to prepare and rally.
Avok, what if we go talk to Serrated Death and see if he thinks we should approach any of the other groups now that Scar's gone?
I guess it's not really a bad idea. I mean, we have the proof like 2 feet from us, so
Theoretically, you guys don't have any proof per
Oh,
se. The only thing that you know is there's a well full of, or a pool full of bad water that connects to
Yeah,
another
I
pool
was
full of
referring to
bad.
Scar.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Another pool full of bad water. You do know that the Serrated Death specifically asked for some kind of proof from the outside that it's possible to get there.
yeah, and
I'll go. I don't care. I'll try. If we want to get something from outside, I can try. But I mean, I don't know what's going to be proof for him, you know?
Yeah. Jody, give me a layout of our surroundings a bit. I know there's the pool that's there. I remember you saying like it's 40 feet down, widens up. There's that crack wide enough in the wall.
And the crack is underwater. You can't see it at all from above the water.
Right, I understand that. In the direction that crack, like say above water, like above ground, like
you basically just see a flat wall. You guys have been to other like edges of the city, and the city itself ends at a wall. It's obvious. The wall itself is relatively smooth. It's not a natural formation. It's obvious it is an artificial creation, that the whole city was somehow dug out of the ground. And this wall basically circles the entire city, because basically you're in an underground cave and you found the edge of the cave, and it's a relatively smooth edge, but it's still an edge. So that's very familiar to you.
That's what I thought. Okay. Avok's looking at the wall, thinking harder than he usually should.
yeah, God does kind of stop thinking and possibly taking poison and psychic damage.
That's not good.
You're
Crazy.
not taking any damage right now. You have a disease that gives you the poisoning condition, which is just disadvantage on
Yeah.
D20 rolls, and you really don't feel good.
Food.
Yes, sir. What's up, buddy? God, that axe looks amazing on you, by the way.
Thank you. I just remember you have some trick that you can mess with stone.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I'm confident I can make sure we get out of here. I can open up that crack even a little bit bigger if we need to.
I wasn't thinking of the crack down there.
Yep.
I'm thinking of the wall right in front of us.
Oh, you want to just try to get right out the wall? Well, interesting.
Be a lot better than swimming in that shit.
I have used my stone shape a couple times, and I have a pretty good handle on what I can do. It's not going to get us very far. I can get us to like a depth of 5 feet, but I mean, we're underground, so I don't think I'm going to be able to like tunnel us out of here.
Well, again, Fade, you know that the crack itself, the other kind of cavern, is 50 feet. You basically would have 50 feet of stone you have to get through.
Right.
To get to the other cavern, and it opens upwards. Again, Scar wasn't able to go high enough to tell how far up it goes, but theoretically, if you could put a hole in that wall 50 feet deep, it would open up into another cavern.
Yeah. So Avok, that's a great idea. I think we can definitely do that when we need to. Um, what do you think? I mean, is this something you want me to go give a shot?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna need a minute to collect myself here, and then I'm gonna like sit down in like a meditation pose. I'm actually going to do something else while making Avok think I'm getting ready to go do his thing.
Okay.
I'm going to cast the spell Sending, and
Mm.
I'm going to try to contact the Platinum Rapier Aethwin, the guy who sent us on the original mission. I'm going to ask him. I have 25 words, and he can respond if he wants or not. But he's going to hear me ask him, "This is Fade. How can I get back into good standing? Why did things go wrong?"
Damn. Huh.
And so that's done, and then I'm going to go ahead and look at Avok and Kata and wish me luck.
How long does sending last for? Like, how long do they have to send you a message back?
Uh, one page over. Sending it takes me its duration one round, so he can either respond or not.
Okay. You don't get a response.
Okay, but he definitely heard it. Unless he's on a different plane of existence, he at least heard that,
Or he's dead.
or that,
Theoretically.
Oh.
or that
He'd hear
happened.
it if he was dead.
Yes,
Or in some other area that prevents communication.
sure, absolutely. You are right on all those accounts. I will, like I said, look at Avok and Katsa and dive in.
Okay. So
I will cast protection and poison on myself as I swan dive.
Okay.
Because we need spell slots when we're at the beginning of a thing.
Sure. Go ahead and start with a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay. Con save. I get a +3. That's not the worst thing. 22.
Okay. And that would have been because it's a save against poison, so that would have been made an advantage.
Yep, 22.
Okay. Everyone's like, no. Okay, so as soon as you get in, do you open your eyes?
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay. So as soon as you open your eyes, again, it's like you just opened your eyes in a bottle of battery acid. They start burning instantly, incredibly painful. You can't see more than about 10 or 15 feet in front of you because of how murky the water is. Next question is, do you breathe or do you hold your breath?
I'm going to hold my breath as long as I can.
Okay.
Because I asked her before if she breathes them in, so I have that info.
What's your Constitution modifier?
+3.
+3. All right. If I remember correctly, for suffocation, you've got basically 3 minutes of air before you start suffocating.
Yep.
So you're starting to realize that because the instant you open your eyes and you have that searing pain, your natural reaction is to shut them again. So you're currently underwater, blind, mostly deaf, and holding your breath. You get the idea that you can probably use your eyes to look around, but you may be doing permanent damage to your eyes when you're doing it.
After that initial ouch,
Okay.
I will do what I've said I'm going to do from now on. I'm going to be open to any influence from the Dark Lady. So I'm going to, while holding my breath, just beg her for any guidance she can give me.
So as you're down there for about 30 seconds, your lungs are starting to get a little bit warm from the lack of air. Nothing happens. You still have your detect magic on, right?
Yep.
And does
Like
that
that.
Does that require you to look?
I will double check here in a moment.
Look at it for me, because I can't
Yep.
remember. I know it's kind of like magic vision, but
Detect. It will. I just sense it.
sense it. Cool. So even with your eyes closed, with the detect magic on, again, you can actually sense where the water ends, because again, the water itself has this latent magic energy to it. So you can kind of pseudo see. You know where the edges of the cavern is, as long as it's no more than 30 feet away from you.
Interesting.
Kind of somewhat sense the hole, and the hole itself, the concentration of magic gets stronger the closer you get to the crack. So now about a minute has passed. You have about 2 minutes of air before you start having issues. And again, the crack itself is about 20 feet away. You can see 10 feet into the crack itself.
I'm gonna go right for the crack.
Okay. What's your
As
speed?
hard as I can. Swim speed is like difficult terrain.
Yeah,
so
it's just halved.
so 15 feet around.
Okay, and so double moving, you can move 30 feet every 6 seconds.
So, yeah, I'll get there. I'll go for it.
So you're able to, because of the unfamiliarity with it and the fact that the crack is not perfect, it takes you another 30 seconds to get through the crack.
Okay.
And when you get over there, again, you can't, quote-unquote, see anything because you have your eyes closed. But you know the water ends about 20 feet above you. Or technically, it's the same level over there. So from the bottom of the cavern to the top of the water, it's 40 feet, and you're about halfway in. And you also sense a very strong magical presence from an item that's at the bottom of this area.
Okay, when I touch it, I'll die. So let's go touch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You realize that the pool on this side is significantly deeper than one on the other side. So
Oh boy.
You think that
Oh.
You would need to go an additional about 60 feet down to get to where this magic item
I'm gonna do
is.
Wow, this is dumb.
But you do have air above you.
Right. I'm gonna quick try to open like one eye just to see if the water's any different here.
As you open it up, you take
Oh fuck.
3 poison damage.
Okay.
Which you have resistance to. The water here, you can only see about 5 feet in front of you. It's even murkier here than it is over there.
All right.
Again, with your detect magic, you've found an interesting way to see, but opening your eyes is not going to help.
I'm going to kick as hard as I can to the surface,
Okay.
get a breath of air, and immediately go back down.
All right.
I'm not going to look around. I'm going to get air and go back down towards the object.
So you've got another, I'm going to say 2.5, just because your lungs were burning before. So you've got another 2.5 minutes of air. You lost basically 30 seconds from exhaustion.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
You have a grand total of about 80 feet that you have to travel, so it takes you, again, what?
12 seconds.
20 seconds to get down there. There is this object. It's relatively large. From what you can see, there's a lot of magic radiating from it, so it's actually difficult for you to kind of quote unquote see the edges of it.
Okay.
But it's somewhat circular orb, kind of orbish in shape. There are multiple pieces to it. Well, not pieces, but there's like rings or something to it where it's not a perfect sphere. And it's radiating a lot of magic.
Like, can I guesstimate a size, like roughly?
You probably like basketball, a little bit bigger. Again, you can kind of see it in front of you.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much magic radiating from it. Seeing like
It's
distinct
gonna like
edges or something like that is very difficult.
blur my vision.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to pick it up. Sure, fine.
Make me a concentration check, basically.
Okay. Just do I add a constitution to that or no?
Yes, you do.
15.
Okay.
I'm deciding. Yeah, that's fine.
And we still have Bless on.
We do have bless on.
Yes, you do.
19. Kata for the win.
Thank you.
As you touch it, your hands start to burn.
Yeah.
You take 17 radiant damage from touching it.
Okay.
But you are able to hold on to it long enough to kind of get a feel for it. Roll me, I'll let you choose history or arcana.
History for the win. So
Oh.
that's a natural one. May I use my inspiration?
Please do.
God.
You've got it.
Oh my god!
For a total of 8.
Is that with your bless?
That sure is.
Yeah, he rolled a 1 and then he rolled a 2.
You've got no idea what this is, but you are able to feel it out enough that you get a rough feeling for it. It's basically a central sphere-like object with a base attached to it, and then it also has 4 kind of claws coming out of each of the 4 sides of the sphere, pointing upwards.
All right, this is so dumb. I'm gonna kill myself, and no one's gonna know I'm dead. So let's. Did it move at all when I touched it? Because I would have
It
kept
did.
trying to pick it up.
It's not stuck there, but after holding on to it long enough to kind of feel it out, you dropped it again because it hurts really bad to touch it.
Okay, so this is what I would like to do.
At this point, a minute has passed total since you resubmerged.
Can you tell me from this spot at the bottom how far it is back to the other side and to where Avok is?
You need to go 40 feet up.
Yep.
50 feet through the tunnel. Another 40 feet up. That'll get you out completely. So if my math is good, that's 130 feet.
Oh god.
4 rounds of minimum 17 damage. Okay. So that'll kill me, but we're gonna go balls to the wall here.
Oh.
I'm going to.
How long has it been since he's been down there?
A minute.
Less than 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Why the hell am I standing around? Wait here. He's been down there too damn long.
It's been roughly, I think, like 5 minutes at this point. So
Yeah, and I can. Avok knows that
it's
thing.
up to you. You technically have the highest constitution, I think.
I do.
And being a barbarian, constitution's one of your things. So
Yeah. Anywho, wait here. Avok's jumping in.
okay. I need a con save.
Fair. That's fine. 19.
Okay. As soon as you jump in, you can breathe water. Are you holding your breath or no?
My Kata did tell Avok, so Avok's gonna hold his breath.
Okay. So as soon as you get in, you feel like your skin start to itch. Your eyes instantly start burning, which forces you to kind of close them just out of instinct. So you are currently about 20 feet underwater just due to momentum and everything. Blind and mostly deafened from being underwater. What do you want to do?
Fair. I entered the water while looking at the walls, so I would know just to go swim straight towards the wall and just feel just go as
blindly make your way through.
Yes.
Okay.
He had
What's
an
your
idea from
what?
the map. Dude, he kind of had an idea of where to go
Mhm.
from that map. I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
What's your speed?
My speed is 40 feet.
40 feet. Okay.
Well, so it
So
yes,
a
20
double
feet
moves, which is what you would
dash.
be doing.
I'd be doing 40 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be doing 40 feet. I'm gonna have you make me. Let's call it just a wisdom check to see how well you can kind of interpret the map to you being blind underwater.
Okay. 15
Cool. And what's your Constitution modifier?
plus 7.
You can't have a con mod that. Just the Constitution modifier, not like the saving throw.
Oh, the saving throw? Sorry, my bad. Plus 4.
+4. Cool. So you have 4 minutes of air before you start suffocating. So it takes you longer than it did Fade to make it through the tunnel, everything, because he could technically kind of see. By the time you make it to the other side, Fade, that's probably about the time that you've dropped it and taken a couple seconds. You notice you can't see Avok, but there is an absence in it because you can technically see the water. And the
I can
water
sense his
moves.
axe.
What?
I can sense his axe.
Ooh,
Magical
you
axe.
can. Well, I guess it depends. Did you bring your axe with you?
My axe is with me all the time.
Yeah, you know, you see a displacement in the water and that axe.
All right, so
He's about, again, 40 feet above you.
all right, I'm gonna. Oh Jesus! I'm gonna try to scoop this thing up with my shield, so I'm not touching it this time, and I'm going to try to push it up towards Avox so that he touches it. That's it.
Well, again, he's 40 feet up, so...
Yeah, I'm putting it on my shield and trying to swim up like that.
Okay, you're going to need to make me an athletics check with disadvantage.
Okay. First one's a 21, second one's a 6, plus for a total of 7.
Oh
Okay.
no.
So as you're sitting there trying to use your shield and trying to keep it from hurting yourself, you're not making much leeway, and it takes you another 30 seconds to go 20 feet up. Avok is still 20 feet above you. The surface is still 60 feet above you. And you are now at a grand total of a minute and a half of 2.5 minutes of air. So you have a minute of air left.
Right.
Avok, you're still mostly blind.
Yeah.
And everything
But
like that, but you notice that the crack itself has opened up and you are in another area.
All right. Since I felt that open up, I'm gonna swim straight up and hope I hit air.
Okay. It takes you another like 10 seconds to get to the top. Barely.
Oh god. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me, you stupid shit. Diving back down.
Right?
I do.
Yes.
All right. So as you look down again, parts of the of this kind of sludge that's floating on the surface is glowing, but as you look down, it's like pea soup at this point. Like it's really difficult to see through.
Yuck.
But there is light coming from the bottom of this area, much deeper down than the other pool is. But you can see light and you can see some sort of movement. You can't tell how far down it is because, again, it's murky and everything, but you can tell it's much deeper than the other one, and there's something moving down there. The light source itself is moving.
God damn it, that better be you. I'm going down.
Okay. Fade, make me another athletics check with disadvantage.
Yep.
Avok, make me just a straight up wisdom check. Since you're doing this blind.
Yeah. That's an unnatural 20, thank God.
Not bad at all. Again, you kind of get a little map in your head, and you just swim straight for the light. What'd you get, Fade?
A 2.
2. You're not making any leeway trying to do this, and your lungs are starting to burn. Avok, as you get to the point where you think the light is, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Okay. Okay. That's going to be a what's my dex save? Oh, okay. 18.
18, cool. You're going to take half of this. That's really funny. 17 divided in half is 8. You take 8 radiant damage as you're kind of swimming and reaching down. You grab onto something that burns you. Fade, you see the axe coming towards you, and then you hear this underwater scream as Avok impacts the item.
Sure.
You guys are now both underwater, can't really communicate with each other.
So
Fade,
with water
you know where he
breathing,
is.
can I cast the somatic and verbal things to a spell?
You'll have to breathe the water to do that.
Even if you could breathe, there's the fact that we're underwater.
Well, again, you guys have the water breathing spell on you.
Yeah, Jody, I'm just thinking back to when the Vox Machina fought the Kraken. They needed special thingies too.
Yeah, I'm interpreting the rules slightly differently than Mr. Mercer did. I'm going to say if you're willing to breathe the water, you can push enough water past your vocal cords to create a sound.
Okay.
Because you're technically liquid breathing when you're doing water breathing.
I'm going to breathe it in and cast sending to Avok. Grab this, get back to Kata now.
Okay. Give me a Constitution saving throw against poison.
Sure. I have advantage because that spell was up. So a total of 15.
Here's a dumb question for you that I just thought of.
Go for it.
Is protection from poison a concentration spell?
Protection from energies, concentration.
Oh.
Hold on.
Actually,
Almost there. 2 pages away. Protection from poison, duration 1 hour. Everything I picked was duration. I have like 10 duration spells.
The only reason I asked is because Magic Vision, whatever it's called, Detect Magic, is a concentration spell. Cool. So, what was your con save?
15.
15, okay. You still take damage, but it doesn't seem like you've been poisoned. Doesn't really matter. You take 1 damage.
Okay.
Which halved, rounded down, is nothing. Avok, in your mind, you hear, what was the message again?
Grab this, get back to Kata now.
So in your mind, you hear Fade's voice say that very clearly.
okay. How far away is Fade from me?
You're technically right next to him. Again, you can't tell. You just know that there's an object in front of you that burned you when you touched it.
Okay.
It's sitting on top of something.
Okay, if he's right next to me and I'm feeling for him, can I please grab him once I get...
You wouldn't have too much difficulty finding a way to grab him.
Good. I'm grabbing him and dragging his ass right back to the surface of the water so we can breathe and talk normally.
Okay. As he grabs you, Fade, make a dex save for me.
$16.
Okay. So as you guys start heading up to the surface, Fade, you are forcefully being pulled up. Avok, go ahead and make me an athletics check.
Not a problem.
See how long it takes for you to drag him back to the surface.
That's a 16.
Okay, it takes another minute to be able to drag him all the way up. Fade, by the time you break the surface, your lungs are burning. You are in massive amounts of pain. Avok, you're not doing that bad at all because you have really good lungs. Fade, as you crest the surface, Avok, you see that Fade's shield, Fade has been kind of cradling his shield in a way to hold this object in it. And as he's there trying to catch his breath and trying to gulp in as much air as he can. Oh, wait, you took a breath underwater.
Oh.
So it's not as bad. He has this glowing object resting on his shield, and it's starting to put little scorch marks on his shield as well.
What the fuck is that thing?
What?
I don't know, but it's awesome. We need it.
You're not there, Kata. Yeah.
I'm not there.
We need to get back to Kata's stat.
Fade, you feel disgusting ever since you breathed that water.
I felt disgusting since we left the Platinum City. This is not... I haven't been happy yet.
I'm sorry I can't make you happy.
Okay. Just in a couple sentences, what is so important about that damn thing?
This is the most magical thing I've seen in a while. And it hurts really bad when I touch it. So we could use it against our enemies.
Avok, make a perception check for me.
Yeah. That doesn't sound good, actually. What's my perception? 19.
As you're sitting there listening to Fade talk like a crazy person, you look down and you realize that you can see further down than you could see before. Like the water is just a little bit clearer than it used to be.
Okay. Very... Maybe it's me, but I don't see pea soup anymore. I mean, I don't see it as badly.
I think it has to do with this thing.
Really?
Let's get it back to Kata. Hurry.
Why don't we just toss it out of the water?
Because we need it.
Oh, God. Okay. I kind of hate dragging your ass, but it'll get us... Oh, wait.
No.
Actually...
Take this. I'll be fine. I can swim. You take this and go. I'll follow you.
Okay, that thing fucking burned me when I touched it.
It's going to burn you the whole time. It's not going to feel great.
Give me your fucking shield and let's go.
I say, okay. I give him the shield with the thing on it, and I look around. What do I see in this other area?
Here's a dumb question for you.
Yeah.
Your shield is your holy symbol, right? Or
Yeah.
are you talking about your old shield?
I don't have an old shield. You made me destroy it.
Oh yeah. So theoretically, the way this thing works is you activate it, and it creates a thing of energy.
Oh, that's way cooler. No, I can't give you my shield.
I was about to say, Avok can't turn it on. To him, it's just a holy symbol.
Can I quick,
it's just...
rope around it and just give it to him like a bundle?
Sure. Make me dexterity check.
23.
23. So you sit there and you tie a rope around it, and then you start smelling something burning. And you start realizing that the rope that has been tied around it is slowly burning. Anything that's touching this item appears to take damage from it.
Oh, for God's sakes.
You're not 100% sure what damage it did to your shield.
I fucking throw the thing up in the air, put my shield in my back, grab it, and start swimming back to Kata.
Okay.
I'm going to football this thing through the water as best I can.
All right.
Oh, stupid
And
fuck.
I'm going to, if I'm about to die, I will Misty Step out of the water by Kata as far as I can see. just to get a little bit extra speed if I need it at the end.
Okay. You can only... While you have this thing, because Misty Steps requires you to be able to see where you're teleporting to,
Right.
you can only
If I
see
can
about
see a
10
little
feet in
further.
front of you.
Well, if I need it, I'm
Okay.
prepping that.
So you watch as Fade tosses this thing up into the air, grabs it, lets out a howl of pain, and dives under the water. Do you do anything, Avok?
Follow his dumb ass.
Okay. So 6 seconds pass. You make it down to the crack because you have 30-foot swim speed.
Yep.
I'm pushing his ass along.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
15 radiant damage.
Okay.
Avok is pushing you as much as he can. You're still only getting about 35 feet of movement. You make it most of the way through the tunnel in another 6 seconds.
Can I rage swim?
Sure, you can go into a rage. Make me an athletics check then. If you're going to rage swim, make me an athletics check.
Fair enough. 18.
Okay. You get an extra. You basically increase his speed to 40 feet instead of 30 feet per round. So he's, you're pushing him an extra 10 feet per round through the water.
I've been able to swim 40 feet when I dash swim.
Yes, but he can only swim 30 feet.
All right, so I'm adding 10 feet to
Yeah,
his.
you're adding 10 feet to his speed.
Gotcha. Okay. Nope.
So, second round of damage.
You better not fucking faint. Or just cast Cure Wounds on your ass.
If I need it.
23 radiant damage.
Ow.
Okay. Doesn't feel great.
Um,
About to die.
the
This is
third one, you make it
exactly
out
what
of
I
the
wanted.
tunnel and move 10 feet up. You are 30 feet away from the surface at this point.
Well,
Out
if
of damage.
well, hold on.
Okay.
So I know how badly I'm hurting as we're swimming. I'm going to let the thing go now that we're on our side of the pool.
Okay.
Get out by Kata, say, heal me quick as fast as you can.
Okay, yeah.
Avok can try to grab it if he wants, but I'm going to go back for it if he doesn't.
Before you
I
do that,
didn't
you
see
do
it. Drop
still
it.
take a little bit of damage. It's not going to be as much, but you still had part way through the tunnel before you could release it.
Can my shield take one of these damages like it's supposed to? Since I have my shield on me?
Really?
Since you're not able to put it in between you and the item, no. But it's only 5 radiant damage.
13 HP healed from a 4th level Cure Wounds.
Hold on, Jody. 5 damage, right?
5.
Okay. So I have 1 hit point.
Okay.
Kata heals me for 13.
All right.
Okay. Fantastic. That was great. Thanks, Kata. I wait for Avok to either come up or whatever he
Dude,
does.
I came
Right
up with.
behind you.
Yeah, I didn't even
Oh,
see you try.
okay.
Obviously.
Yeah, like you guys can
Okay.
now
Yes.
see there's something glowing at the bottom of this pool. It's much brighter than it was on the other side, Avok, because it's closer to the surface. But you guys have also noticed the pool itself has gotten a lot murkier.
Lovely. I toss Fade out the water and I just dive right back in. I'll be right back, you dang Barry.
As he grabs me, I cast a heal on him.
Okay.
Because why not? 11 more hit points to you, Avok.
Thank you for putting me back to max.
Fade gives you a little bit of a goose.
I know how much it hurts. He's like, oh, this
As
is
you
not
go
good.
down, I'm going to say you take the damage twice, going down and then coming up with it. So this is the first round of damage. So So you take 17 damage when you grab onto it at first.
Okay.
And carrying it up, you take an additional radiant damage, by the way.
No, well, I still take full damage.
Yeah, he does.
And another 16 radiant damage as you
17
get
plus
to
16.
the top and kind of chuck this item onto the ground outside the pool. Again,
I make
like
sure
before,
Star goes
the
nowhere
pool
near.
itself starts getting a little bit clearer. The kind of glowing sludge on the top stops glowing once this item gets taken out. And now that it's not in the water, it's not glowing anywhere near as brightly. But you guys do start noticing the air around it start turning green and getting darker, almost as if like a cloud of smoke is emanating from it. But there's nothing leaking out of the item.
Now that it's out of the water and I can see what it's doing, do I know what this is?
Make me another history check.
There you go.
Natural 20 for 27.
Okay. So looking at this, you have never dealt with something like this before. However, you have heard, being a cleric and was it light or life that you were before?
Life.
Life. Especially being a life cleric, you know one of the tactics used in the war when they took over the Kael Isles was they would poison water supply.
There's a snake in my boots.
Basically, this is an item that specifically was designed to not just make water unpalatable, but to make it deadly. Deadly enough that even attempting to remove it could take the life of the person that was attempting to remove it. That's the only purpose of this magic item, is to destroy a water supply. They were remarkably difficult to create, and were kind of one-time use items, because once they were in there, they generally weren't supposed to be taken out again because you can't turn them off without destroying them. In general, these items were only used in places that the Eladrin weren't bothered about the idea of not colonizing it. They simply wanted to remove one of the most useful aspects of the land from the people they were fighting. So, something like this has not been used, to your knowledge, has not been used in maybe 100 years because of the incredible damaging effect and the fact that a lot of the damage it does is irreversible without destroying it. Destroying this thing takes a lot.
Would Avok recognize this? I mean, you say it has been used in 100 years. Would some particular Eladrin consider using this?
You know what? He probably wouldn't have had an issue using something like this. Roll me a history check.
Of course.
It's still going to require you to see if you can remember it, but it's theoretically possible. You might have seen one of these.
14?
That's enough to know that you don't really know what it does. You have seen something like this before, and the only thing you really know about it is it's dangerous, don't touch it, and the one time you remember hearing about it being used, or hearing about one of them being used, it was used and used up. It was a consumable item, but it was an incredibly valuable consumable item. Once you used it, you couldn't use it again. And whatever it was won that fight, like with no resistance. That fight was over when it was used. Beyond that, you really don't know much about it.
Oh, I think I recognize this piece of shit. Fade, I hate to tell you this, but I'm gonna destroy this thing. It's of no use to us.
Have fun.
Good. Taking my axe, I'm gonna cut it in half.
Okay, make me an attack roll.
Mm-hmm.
I try to shield Scar from the shards.
That's 24.
Okay, roll damage.
All right. Oh, and I'm raging still. Hee hee. 1d. That's right. 1d12. Where's my d12? There it is. 11 plus 2, 13 plus my 2, 15 plus my 19.
So as you bring the axe down, it's like you've just tried to attack a building made of metal. As you hit it, your axe instantly twists to the side from the impact, because again it's a sphere, and so it kind of deflects the blows in general. And the force of the hit actually kind of takes you with it just a little bit, and as you look up, it's getting harder and harder to see it because this kind of black cloud of smoke is slowly forming around it, but you see that you have made kind of a blemish on the surface of this thing, but beyond that it's working.
Shit.
After I see his first swing and it getting blacker, I have Scar and I wave to Katza. So let's walk away right now.
Yeah. I do what he says.
Okay. So you see them back up. You see you've barely done anything to the thing. It hasn't stopped it from working. Start coughing a little bit because the air around it is becoming a little bit more toxic. Not enough that it's really bothering you yet, but you get probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes, this area is going to be, the air here is going to be unbreathable.
Oh, God.
Three. Wait a minute. Third.
Yep. That's one of the water supply things. Yeah.
Dispel the damn thing.
But okay. And I use a 4th level slot to cast a 3rd level spell.
Okay.
And I will dispel magic, the item.
I'm going to need you to roll me a spell attack roll.
Sweetly. 12.
Was that including your bless?
Sure was.
So as you sit there and concentrate on it and try
Actually,
to remove the magic.
Jody, hang on.
Uh-huh.
I actually have an inspiration point that I've completely forgotten about. Can I give that to him?
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Good.
Yes, please. Oh, that's slightly better. 16?
Okay. So as you sit there concentrating on it, trying to kind of disconnect it from its magical source, this is incredibly high-level magic. Much higher a level than you're used to dealing with. And as you try with all of your might, you can't seem to kind of break through the arcane barriers that were created to prevent the exact type of tampering you're attempting to do.
Darn it. I didn't prepare it.
Well, that sucks. I guess we could put it back in the water so we don't poison the air and kill everyone.
You do get the idea that, again, because it was designed for water supply, you don't think it can affect an area large enough to kill, like, this city. Like, the city is massive. You do think it probably wouldn't have too hard a time if you leave it there long enough. Maybe like a 30 or 50-foot area that has this smoke in it. but it'll take a fair amount of time for it to, because again, it's supposed to work in water. It's not supposed to work in air. The idea that you guys probably have a little bit of time before it does anything too bad, and it's not going to be enough to kill everybody, but it will cover a pretty significant area with this deadly cloud.
I'm done.
What would you guys like to do?
Fuck it, I'm gonna bury this thing. Maybe just I don't know.
That's a good idea. I suggest you do that.
Well, let's find a spot that's not gonna be bad. Like
The area you're in right now is packed earth with rock underneath it, so you don't think burying it here is going to be very effective. But like the area you fought Scar in, there was a lot of sand and stuff around it. So there's a much better chance of you digging further in than there is of you digging where you are right now.
Yeah.
yeah, that's no
But-
way.
How are we going?
There's
How
also
are
the
we
issue that
gonna-
you have nothing to dig with, but
Spiritual
I think
shovel.
you're creative.
That'd be amazing.
You
That's
have to
actually
convince me that a shovel is a weapon.
Navy SEALs kind of use a shovel
In
as a
Avok's
weapon,
hands it is.
and
Now
also
turned into Shovel Knight.
Yes!
So what do you guys want to do? Avok, again, your history, like you've done bivouacking and all these things, you know you're not going to be able to bury it here. The ground is not something you would want to try to dig into.
I find if whatever is closer. If fuck, like, is the area with Foxguard the closest that?
You think you're probably going to have to travel at least 30 minutes inward from the wall before you're going to be able to find ground that you can dig more than maybe a foot into tops.
How are we going to carry it?
And,
You know it's not incredibly heavy. It's heavier than it looks, than you think it should be for an object that size. But it's very, I mean, you just carried it through water. Other than the fact that it burns you.
yeah, that's what the issue is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know that it was burning me with not fire, so I can assume that's radiant energy. So I'm going to put my hands next to it and just kind of like not actually touch it, but tap it with the sacred flame and see if I can repel it like a magnet. Because why not?
What's your spell save DC?
16. Sacred magnet.
The sacred flame, you attempt to hit it, and it just seems like it's not really taking any damage, but it does move a little bit.
I will be like, oh, wait, that's not working. Let's try a chill touch. Which is necrotic damage, because that's the opposite of radiant.
Make an attack roll.
19. This is a ranged spell, by the way. I'm not touching.
I'm very familiar with Chill Touch. One of the other things I didn't realize it did is if you hit somebody with Chill Touch, they can't regain hit points that turn.
Mm-hmm.
Very useful spell. So you sit there, and you basically, because you create a ghostly hand with it, and so you basically shoot this hand out, and it moves it probably about a foot or so. You get the idea that with repeated kind of blasts of magic or anything else that you don't mind it getting damaged, projectile weapons, the type of thing, you can basically just bash this thing where you need to move it. It's going to be slow work, but you think it's doable.
Yeah.
Play croquet with it. Here's a light hammer.
What are you gonna? Out of character question, are you gonna play golf with
Or
Or
it?
so yeah, you guys do think if you use the basic idea of this, if you use an item to move it, the item is eventually going to start taking damage and become more and more worthless.
Mending. Avok, use the axe. I'll mend it.
Magic items work differently.
Yeah, I'm not worried about my axe.
Hey. Yeah, we could just use our cantrips to move it little by little.
So, due to the fact that it takes you guys a fair amount of time to do this, it takes you about 2.5, 3 hours to get to a place where you think the ground is soft enough that you could bury it, all the while leaving this cloud of kind of black smoke following you guys.
Yep.
Alright, Avok's digging a hole like a dog.
Make me an athletics.
Actually,
Yep. 15.
Okay. Takes you another good hour and a half to dig a hole deep enough.
Dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole.
You do mess up your hands a little bit.
That's fine.
You take 3 bludgeoning damage, basically.
Yeah, my rage has subsided before that, so I'm taking the 3.
And this whole time that he's digging, I'm like pretending to sleep somewhere, and he's just glaring at me the whole time, and I just pretend he's not looking at me.
So you do bury it. You bury it about 4 feet down, and as you start putting sand and stuff on it, the sand itself starts to burn a little bit and starts to blacken as you put more and more on it. Eventually, it does get covered up, but the ground that you cover it up with seems off.
I don't care about the fucking ground. It's the water that was the concern.
Okay. So do you guys want to... You are 30 minutes away from the water, walking without having to golf swing this crazy magic item. So if you want, you can get back to the water pretty quick.
Oh boy.
What do you guys want to do?
I'm done. I want to go to sleep. I'm going to drag behind the whole time.
Yeah.
Let's just walk back to the frickin' pool and collapse for a bit.
Okay. When you get back to the pool, there's still floating dead things in the pool. The water itself is not something you would ever want to drink. But for the most part, it looks like a stagnant pond. You can see most of the way down. Like the very bottom of the pool is a little bit difficult to see. The crack is not visible from the surface.
Good.
But you don't think it's going to be quite as deadly. Kata, you're still suffering from this disease, whatever it is. You still feel
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, and I don't have lesser restoration. Well, not prepared today anyway.
It's alright, we'll just rest up and you can do it then.
So anything else you guys want to do?
Fucking, we're spent for today.
Hey.
Okay.
Like, yeah, this was a ridiculous ordeal.
I asked Star what his motivations are now that he's dead. That's what I thought. Just wanted to hear you say it. No. Shh. That's it.
He just dead-eye stares at you.
I make sure I look at Avok. Like, he could have dug the hole. No big deal.
Oh.
So, you guys want to lay down for a bit? What do you want to do?
Uh,
I'm going for at least a short rest because this sucks.
Okay.
yeah.
So you guys
The
all kind of
what?
chill next to the pool, take a short rest, burn any hit dice that you want to.
Yes, please.
Why
And
not?
I want to see if there's any change in the water now that it's gone, like if it's going to self heal itself or not. Now that that influence is gone from it, self heal is the wrong word. If it will like purify itself now that it's gone, that's what I meant.
All right, so the hour passes without too much difficulty. The water itself doesn't look like it's getting any better, but it ain't getting any worse either.
So,
Okay.
You get the idea. Like at one point, Fade, you do test it out. Your hand doesn't itch when you put it in there. It still smells
Sure.
not the overwhelming stench of like decay and death that was here before, but it still doesn't smell great. And again,
Okay.
it's a stagnant pool.
that's fine.
So, hours passed. What do you guys want to do?
Hey, should we try again?
Go for it. Let me know how it goes for you.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to turn to a shark again.
Okay. You guys watch as Kata kind of limps over. She doesn't look quite as energetic as she did before. Walks into the pool and transforms into a shark. You no longer feel the burning sensation, but you do get the idea that this is not good water. That it's not something that you want to ingest at all. But you can see perfectly fine, especially with your blind sight. You can see the opening. Do you want to go into it?
Yeah, the rest of them still have the water breathing on, so they can dive in after me.
Not even gonna try.
So you swim through the crack, which you have a little bit more difficulty doing because you're a large creature, but it's still big enough that you kind of squeeze your way through. And you get to the other side. The other side is smaller area-wise, but is much deeper. And there's an opening to the top that you can see some light really high up, like probably 100 feet up. You can see some light spilling into the chamber you're in.
Okay, I'm going to I entrance go back to myself
Okay.
right before I surface.
Okay. So again, you're in a big kind of cavern outside of the city, or the underground city, and you can see the walls of this are it's a natural cave created by erosion. So it's jagged and stuff like that, and there's parts where rocks have broken off and stuff like that. So you think, with the right motivation, you might be able to climb up or find a safe way to climb up the basically 100 feet you would need to get to this source of light, which, again, being a druid and growing up in nature, you're relatively certain that is sunlight pouring through there, which is the first time you've seen the sun outside of the arena.
Yeah.
So you do get the idea that probably opens up to somewhere above ground, but without actually going up there and looking, you've got no idea where it opens up to. The opening itself is small. A medium-sized humanoid would have to squeeze to get through it. Anything larger than that simply wouldn't be able to go through.
Hey, I'm gonna. Does being this poison condition grant me disadvantage on just attack rolls or also to my ability checks?
It's disadvantage on basically any d20 roll.
Okay, so I'm not gonna try to do an athletics check. I'm gonna go back and tell them I saw.
Okay. So she comes back. Again, Kata with, because you have the water breathing as well. You have no
Yeah.
problem getting back. And you come up and she tells you guys that, again, in the other area, there is a crack about, again, 100 feet up, just barely large enough for a medium humanoid creature to squeeze through it, and daylight is coming from it.
But still need proof.
Yeah.
Katsu, you get the idea that Avok would probably not really have that big of an issue
Yeah.
climbing up.
Yeah.
Just, again, his physique and everything like that. But
Yeah.
Fade with his heavy armor and you with the condition that you're in, you're probably not making it up that wall without help.
Yeah.
Right, well, that's our way out from the looks of it. Fred, you got anything?
Oh, we gotta get word to Knife Death that we have our way out. Should we get him now? Should we send Elaine to go get him?
Elaine's just kind of sitting there patiently watching you all, not saying a word.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe probably best. Elaine, maybe. No, yeah, go and get your buddy. Or, yeah.
Without saying a word, you see wings sprout from his back. He flies off.
And 30 seconds later, he falls.
Well, you know, he knows how long it takes for this whole thing to work, so he planned
I know.
ahead.
I'm just messing.
It's
Okay.
just cool, alright? Try to make it give a cool exit, and you're like, no, we're gonna make it sound like you're stupid. You
My
gotta
bad.
fight the DM, because DM didn't give me this cool axe or anything like that.
Aw,
No, we just gotta make him feel bad.
Jody, you know we love you, dude.
So Elaine heads off. Is there anything else that you guys want to do? You get the idea that, again, it took you guys the better part of a day and a half to get here. Even with Elaine being able to bypass and not have to take the exact path you guys took out here, he's probably going to be gone for a day.
Let's go hide in the ruins where we killed Scar.
Mm.
There was like at least a little bit of an outcropping, so someone, for whoever's on watch, can go up to the top, get a clear view. We can hide like underneath in the rubble or something.
Yeah. Hopefully that hole don't get worse.
And at this point, I'm gonna take my fine Eladrin clothes that I've had in my pack that I have not lost since the beginning, and I'm going to dress Scar in them so that he doesn't look like.
Technically, those would have been burned with the rest of your possessions.
When?
Your right of atonement, because you would have you burned basically everything.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That would have happened. Okay.
Sorry. I mean, if you fight any Eladrin in the arena, you might be able to take it off their blood-stained corpses.
No, we're back at the area where we killed that nice elf. We're gonna dress him in.
Oh yeah.
Those clothes. There we go.
Because you didn't technically stab him or anything. You sucked the life out of him. So his clothes would probably not be doing that bad.
They're fine.
All right. So you guys take a long rest, I'm assuming, then?
Yes, please.
Yep.
Yes.
Due to the
Wait for
fact
Lane.
that we're just under 2 hours now, and I am very much exhausted, that is where we are going to end it for tonight.
All right.
If this is your first time watching, I do run D&D games every Tuesday night here, so feel free to follow the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter. I generally tend to tweet about this stuff unless I'm unconscious most of the day, like I was today. I'm on Twitter. I'm at Trainer Jody, and then I upload all the old episodes to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Trainer Jody. So if you'd like to catch up on any of the other adventures, feel free to do that. Otherwise, that's all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right.